But I think I like what the Chicago Bears have done for a rookie quarterback. Don't you think? I mean, that was kind of a part of RG3's thing. Like, look what they're doing for the next guy, but they didn't do it for Justin Fields. It's like, well, this is a new regime, new coach, new culture. Seemingly, they're doing it right? I love what the Bears invest in a defense. We invest in a running game. We add another weapon. Yeah. Doesn't it feel like that's this perfect setup for a rookie quarterback almost? At least as good as it possibly could be going in there from outside looking in. Everybody's going to have to play well. So just signing somebody on paper doesn't mean anything. It's a meritocracy in the NFL. You have to earn it every single week. But that Bears team feels like a good spot for Caleb Williams or whoever they decide to pick, which some people think should be maybe Jaden Daniels. All eyes are on Caleb. And then for Justin Fields going to Pittsburgh, what are your thoughts on that? So I want you to start with Chicago, with how they built it and how it's good for a rookie seemingly, and then Justin Fields to Pittsburgh alongside Russ.
Well, look, I think what we learned from Houston, the NFL is really, there's always 4 to 6 plays every game that determine the outcome. And the bad teams don't make those 4 to 6 plays, and the good teams typically do. And the mediocre teams make them sometimes, and sometimes they don't. So you're never as bad as you think you are. And we saw that with Houston, right? They get a quarterback who comes in there. It's not Davis Mills. They bring someone in there, and all of a sudden they're playing really well. And so they're not as bad as everybody thought they were. And I think that's the same thing with Chicago. When they could get good quarterbacking play, they weren't as bad as we thought they were, and especially when they weren't healthy. So early in the year, they had a lot of injuries on defense. I think if Caleb comes in there and they continue to rebuild the line and they've got these draft picks, you add that to it, they've got a chance to be a really good team. There's no question. And if, Caleb Williams is a really good player. Right, there's something, he's had 30 fumbles in his career. You worry about him with ball security at times, but he can throw the ball with rhythm. He can throw the ball all over the field. He's got anticipation. You can build a really good system around this player. So for me, I think that will make the Bears extremely a better team going into next year, especially as they define it.
There we go, Chicago.
As for Pittsburgh, look, I think this is a reset for Justin, right? I think he gets an opportunity to go around with a coach who's going to demand that he competes and plays well. And he's going to be involved with an offense with Arthur Smith. See, I think sometimes we make this mistake, Pat. Arthur Smith wasn't a very good head coach. Maybe he wasn't, but he's a good offensive coordinator. He didn't get that. He got the head coaching job because he was a good offensive coordinator. So maybe his best time is as an OC. I think the offense will be suited for him. They're going to run the ball. We know this. They're going to run the ball. They've got skilled players, that they have on the team. And they improve the line. I think it's a good time for a reset for Fields, right? So he can go in there and get those mental reps that he needs and not have the pressure that everybody puts on him. You're going to be the MVP. Yeah. You're going to do this. You're turning a franchise around. I think that wears on guys. And just go out and play football. Make the game easier for yourself. And he can work on one of the things I think happens to Fields quite often is his fundamentals break down as the game goes on, kind of like a golfer who has to hone his swing. So when the pressure's on in the Masters and you got to hit the green on the 16th, your swing doesn't fall apart. It's the same thing with quarterbacks. You got to be able to handle the fundamentals when the pressure's the greatest.
Well, in those biggest moments, you always rely on your fundamentals. So that's where the work shows. And that's just coming from somebody that was a punter in the NFL. Some of those big moments whenever I wasn't putting in as much work or didn't know how to punt as well, you start thinking to yourself, oh, what do I do here? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to catch the ball, and then I'm going to drop it, and I'm going to kick it as hard as possible. But then whenever you work and work and work and work and work, in those big moments, you're just not thinking. You're just relying on what you've worked. Justin Fields hasn't had the opportunity because he's been trying to turn a franchise around to work on all those fundamentals. So is it a perfect situation with Russell Wilson being named the starter? Okay, so Justin Fields, you're the backup here. You get a chance to take a breath, find a new city, learn a new city, and also maybe work on some shit while you get it all together. Yeah. It feels like a good move for the Steelers, right?
It feels great for him from this
side. I think, look, they got him for nothing. I mean, they basically paid nothing for him. Why wouldn't they do it? I think it was a really good move. And you know where I am on him as a player. But if I were in the league, it's too good of a move because he's got potential if you can fix it now. Obviously, if it comes at a higher cost, it's not worth it. Everything is about cost and effectiveness, so he goes there and now he can try to rebuild his career. We can find out exactly how hard he wants to work on things, what he's going to do. And as the Steelers, who've already said they want to sign Russell beyond this season, right? So that, now he's got a chance that he's not going to get his 5th-year option picked up. Whatever he can do, he can reestablish his career. I think the pressure not being on him to deliver is really going to be helpful to him as well.
Yeah, it gives him some time to relearn himself, work on some stuff. Pittsburgh, real close to Columbus.
Yeah.
Take a trip back, say hello to the Ohio State family. Chip Kelly's running shit over there now. Shake his hand, go see how the Ryan Day's doing now as a CEO of the team as opposed to hands-on.